years of coaching, 1,098 victories, 8 national championships, 18 Final Four appearances, 161 players, 100% graduation rate, an Olympic gold and silver medalist as a coach and a player, a Presidential Medal of Freedom recipient, Pat Summitt, the woman who paved the way for her sport, gave other coaches a summit to reach for, and millions of girls hope for a bright future. Pat grew up working on her family's farm in the rural Tennessee town Clarksville. She and her 3 brothers and younger sister learned the value of a hard day's work from an early age. Her father, Richard Head, believed with a passion that girls could do anything just as well as a boy. When Pat was 12 years old, her father dropped her off in the middle of a hayfield, handed her a rake, and without any more instruction, he said, "Do it." Though his methods may seem harsh, he built Pat and her brothers a basketball hoop in the loft of their barn where she and her brothers found time to play after a day full of hard work in the hot and humid Tennessee sun. So when he learned that Pat's Clarksville High School didn't have a girls' basketball team, he moved them from Clarksville to Henrietta just so she could play high school ball, where she became known as one of the best ball players in the nation. But women could not earn scholarship in those days before Title IV. So she watched as all 3 of her brothers went off to college with scholarships to play ball. Her family pulled together enough money for her to play at the University of Tennessee Martin, where she became an All-American star. Her senior year of college, her determination became evident once again when she tore her ACL. At the time, orthopedic medicine was in its infancy. Consequently, doctors told her to give up hope of playing again. But Pat had her heart and steely eyes set on playing on the first ever women's basketball Olympic team in 1976. She did play, and her team brought home the silver medal. So it's no surprise that when she was offered the job to coach at the University of Tennessee, she passed on that same determination, passion, and grit to her players. At just 22 years old, with players just a year younger than her, she led grueling and unconventional practices, demanding nothing but the best. Her demanding attitude was not just focused on what her players could do on the court. In her time at Tennessee, every single one of her 161 players graduated with college diplomas. She used the game to teach life skills that opened doors previously thought unimaginable. So it's no coincidence that Title IV was signed into action nearly the same time she took the job with Tennessee. During this time, women were playing 6-on-6 games because many said this gave the clumsy girl the opportunity to play. When Pat said she refused to sign any more players from Tennessee high schools, the TSSAA changed the rules, eliminating 6-on-6 women's games statewide. She was that influential. In 1979, Tennessee men's and women's teams squared off against LSU. The women's game went into overtime, but they were forced to wait to play their overtime minutes until after the men's game. Pat was livid. Her sport, her girls, her team was disrespected. That was a motivating factor for Pat, that no more was women's basketball to be disregarded in comparison to men's basketball. She talked about that game for years after that. It was a milestone, fighting for her sport, fighting for her players. Her fight transformed not only the game, but also the public's view of women's sports. Her ability to empower, instill commitment and determination on and off the court in young women amplified the intensity of the game to mirror her pursuit of perfection, and transferred her passion not only for the sport, but also for women's rights to millions. I'm someone who will push you beyond all reasonable limits. Someone who will ask you not to just fulfill your potential, but to exceed it. Someone who will expect more from you than you may believe you are capable of. Pat Summitt.